Hello, welcome everyone once again to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about being a president in a busy world. It is most times when all the burden falls on the man, the man has to provide, the man has to pay for the family, the man has to also be, he's also in a marriage with the wife. How can this man handle all these things at the same time? So in handling this topic with me, we have the best of the best. His name is Mr. Felix Kalu. Felix Kalu, welcome to our channel. What's happening? What's happening?
Thanks, man.
What's happening? Yeah, man. So, yeah, quick question, straight to you. What are the tactics you've developed? How have you come up? I know you have 3 kids now. I know you own like 2 or 3 businesses and many businesses. I know you're also a very good educationist. Now, having an entrepreneur of many businesses, home and abroad, doing many things, how have you ensured that you've been there for your children? I always see you play with your kids. How have you been ensured that you've been there for your wife? How you ensure that your business did not suffer and your family and your wife did not suffer?
Well, it's not easy, but it's fun, actually. Let me
It's
just
fun.
start by saying that, yeah. Because, the thing is, no matter how busy you are, if you love your family, you still have to make out time.
How are you about that? About shut up, yeah.
Yeah.
Now I enter.
Yeah, because, you don't want your children, especially at that age, you don't want them to grow not knowing their father very well. So whatever you do, you have to always have it at the back of your mind that no matter how hard I work today, no matter what I do, my children go to bed at 8 o'clock. I have to try and be home at least by 7.
By 7.
So I can spend that 1 hour with them.
Yes.
Right? And then there are other things too, like, in the mornings, I don't have to be the one to take them to school, but I always do that myself because that's when I have time to pray with them in the car, bond with them, and it's actually a lot of fun taking them to school. I do that myself. In fact, myself and my wife always argue about it. She's taking the children to school today. He's taking them tomorrow. It brings a lot of conversation amongst the 2 of us. So I do the best I can to take that responsibility of taking them to school. Sometimes I take them and then I tell my wife to pick them up. I come back home early so I can spend time with them. During holidays, I'm a businessman and I have people who actually handle some of my businesses for me. So what I do is I delegate some of the tasks and then I try to make out time. I spend time with them, take them out, take them out on lunch dates, take them out for dinner, different places, swimming, we go to game centers, just so I can spend time with them, So that's how I don't think it's much of a big deal. Everybody's busy, but if you want to be a great dad, you just have to create that time for the children. I can't go a whole day without seeing my kids. It drives me crazy. Honestly.
Are you hearing that? It drives you crazy.
And what about you? How do you handle it?
How do I handle it? My God, I remember when I married my wife, and when I married her, I always wanted to be that guy that would provide. I didn't want my house to have any scarcity or any. And so I worked myself. So I work myself, I'll come back home, be working, I'll do everything, I'm working. And this is her, because my wife is a homely person. Let me just tell you how homely my wife is. My wife studied interior, and this qualifies her to work in UN and other places to go. Do you know, she shut down her career. She literally shut down her career because she said, I'm not going to be an absent wife or an absent mom.
Mm-hmm.
I want to. So it was shocking when she, I can make this move. This thing that everybody is jumping to Canada, this opportunity came to us even before Canada became a. So I told her, you know what, since you didn't want us to go to Canada, that she guys children and go. I'll be visiting you guys. She says a lie. That wherever she wanted family. So this is the kind of wife I married, and let's look at everything. So I do understand this, and I do understand the pressure. I even didn't understand the pressure of when I'm trying to ensure that there's money in the house. Because you see why I tell my wife, you don't understand. I said, if today we don't have money, nobody's going to say, hey, she the wife. Everybody's going to say, and the man does now.
Yeah.
So the society always put it on him. So I tell her, see when you say you don't have money, don't worry, you don't have any issues. But a man cannot say you don't have money.
You can't say that.
So that's the way society almost put. So I do understand the pressures and everything. And one day I traveled to Lagos, and when I just kept on asking, what's going on? Blah blah blah. Are you married to work? Did you marry your work or you married me? And everything. And out of everything, I will never forget the wisdom of God that entered me that day. I don't know. Since that day, I think that's when I started changing. She said, what's going on? That okay, one day you make all the money in the world and you come back and you don't have a family. So that was just saying nothing to me. I don't told her. I said, babe. Or what I said, babe, relax. And she said, what? I said, I'm going to ensure that I work so much to ensure that my family does not spoil. And I will serve my family to ensure that my work does not collapse. Because trust me, this work I'm doing is helping me feed you.
Of course.
Yeah, it's helping me feed you. So from that day, I had to create, and I understood. Holy Spirit taught me what they call work-life balance, work-family balance. I had to now balance work. Sometimes I would consciously, so I had this attitude of always bringing back work back home. So most times I just tried to finish it there, try to like cancel it there. When I come back home, I always get exactly. So this thing you just said now, like ensuring. So most times I be calling, how far this left? Please keep them away, because I actually like I don't know that's out there. You have to ensure that you're present. I remember when I went to Lagos, I spent a long time there. I came back. Do you know what my wife's sister, one of my wife's sister told me? She said, Baba, be sure about that until name calls me daddy. See, that thing hits me. Felix, I was like, Jesus. I stopped traveling again. I said anything again, I'm not traveling. That one. So that's how I started motivating. I started being a present dad. So how about the wife? How do you ensure that your marriage, or rather the children or your business, does not affect marriage? Because I believe that the source of everything is marriage. So how do you ensure that children also affect the wife too? That's for another channel I'm going to discuss. But how do you ensure that you create a life where it's not about you and the family, it's about you and your wife? Because when those days when I take my family out, I'll take my wife and take my children. But after there's a difference between the children, all of us and me and you. So how do you handle that to ensure you service your wife with time?
I think I picked a few things you said about your wife.
Yeah.
Some things that you've done in your marriage that is very similar to mine as well.
Yeah.
You mentioned you spoke about the Canada thing. How you said you can move them there and then you can be going and coming. I had that conversation with my wife as well. You also spoke about, I think you said something about her quitting her job so she could have time for the home. Yeah. My wife did the same thing.
Are you serious?
Yeah, my wife came home to take care of the home. Okay, so that was
God has given them this gift.
Yeah, so that was.
Look at you.
Those are little things that I think a good woman who loves her family, they do those things just to make sure, because at the end of the day, I'm sure you don't want your children growing up without the presence of their mother. So going back to the question you asked about how do I handle the situation, especially with my wife, so that she doesn't feel like I'm always all about the children and then I'm not always paying attention to her. There are some certain things I do. I'm always very busy during the week, but anytime I have the time, I spend time with my wife. And as a matter of fact, we made it a family tradition that every Fridays we go out together. Intentionally, yeah. Because what we do is Friday evenings, after work, after everything happens, just leave the kids at home with the helps, everybody, and we go out. And it doesn't even matter where we go to. It doesn't even matter if we just go there and we have Fanta or water. We just go out by ourselves, just myself and my wife. We sit down there, we have a chat, and then we drink. If it's food, we eat.
Discuss fights.
Just discuss different things, And in fact, that's usually it's more or less the most peaceful, most quiet time I spend with my wife every Friday.
So imagine you're with your wife now, business is calling. But what do you do?
Well, the thing is,
I remember one time
I know how to control.
You left. They want to say, hold on. My wife hates it.
Yeah.
If I'm having me time with her, she does want me time.
Yeah. It's normal.
One day I took her out. Do you know when I took her out? I was on my phone with her handling business. You know what she told me? She said, do you think after everything, she said, I spent money. And I got broke after that outing. She said, do you think you actually took me out today? I was like, see, I'm ready.
Why? Because of the phone?
I understand. Say, we went out, but were you present? Were you present with me? It's one thing about, because the topic is about being a present dad. She asked me, were you present with me? And I was like, yeah, I told you, but business was coming. You're not present with me. So sometimes I'm actually learning. I'm still learning till today how to be a present dad. And one thing I've noticed is we have to do phones. So I think one thing that to do, and I'm learning to do is that if I want to spend on my wife, I can charge my phone upstairs and just come downstairs.
Yeah.
My wife is actually strange, but do you know? My wife doesn't like watching movies. She doesn't like anything.
She doesn't do
If she wants to have fun with herself, it's YouTube. She just opens YouTube and watch somebody talking about their life. I was like, most times she just push YouTube for us to watch. I'm like, my God, how are we watching this thing, our bonding? So one thing I've learned about, I said how to say that one thing I've learned about my wife is to actually create a conscious me time. So most times I drop my phone and I go and meet her and I just sit down and I just look at her. How are you? How far? What's going on? What's going on in your life? How far? So this is how to be. This is how me I've learned to be present. Me those days. How far? Are you okay? Hope you're good. I've gone to work. I've gone to work. Because me, I know you're workaholic. I know you're workaholic. One more comes. We work together on so many projects. I've seen how most times you spend so much time on working. So how do you ensure that okay, a present dad, even when you want to create that me time, you want to create that that you want not me time actually, you want to create that intimate time between you and your wife. What's that stuff you've done to ensure that
like I
that
said,
you're present, not just there, you're present.
Like I said on Fridays we like to have our own time by ourselves without the kids.
So what do you do in that time to ensure you're present?
Well, I leave my phone one side. I don't bother coming out. In fact, sometimes distraction comes from the phone. You either have this call coming in or this message coming in, or one thing or the other. You know, the thing with phones these days, once you pick up your phone and you want to reply someone, immediately after replying that person, you won't know when you start checking other messages or you start
phone
checking other apps.
Destroys intimate time.
It's very bad.
Phone destroys intimate time.
It's really bad. So what we do is, because phones are usually the most difficult, that is our major problem. It's either I'm on my phone or she's on her phone. So when we get to a place where we want to have a conversation, we want to have our own time and talk, we put our phones together, put them on silent, and we keep them on one side. Right? We tell ourselves we're not going to touch our phones until after maybe 20 minutes or 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
After 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, if you had a missed call, if someone called you and you couldn't pick up or you had a message, you have about 5 minutes to respond to everything, make your calls. After that,
that's
do
a good tactic. I actually, one day my wife will just tell me, yeah, I'm addicted to this phone. I'm like, what are you pressing?
It's normal.
She's like, what are you pressing? Yeah, the kids are part of the YouTube. So you guys, I have children. Thank you. Yeah. So that's just. So in a nutshell, being a present world, we understand that as fathers and as husbands, we have to attend to business. We have to attend to things that will bring finance into our family and into ourselves too. But you see, success is not just defined about money. Success is defined by succession. At the end of the day, you have kids, you have people, you have a family to attend to. So now you're attending to them, you need to be also ensure that you present that. That's one thing that gives your children. Many people, Gen Zs right now, and even millennials, are facing so many traumatic and mental challenges just because they didn't have a parent, they didn't have a father, they didn't have a father figure. So in coming in this busy world, what I said to my wife, I'm saying to you right now, treat your life in a way that your business does not suffer while your family thrives, and your family does not suffer while your business thrives. Both of them, with the wisdom that we've shared to you and the wisdom of the Holy Spirit, will help you create a work-family life balance. Thank you so much for subscribing to this channel. Thank you for watching these movies. All right, guys, thank you so much. Love you so much. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Oh, Jesus.